What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Movement Mindset powered by Station Athletics. I'm Chris Hardenberg here with Joe Pasalacqua and Samson. This is episode 4. And so in this episode, we're going to be talking about or just kind of laying out what we would consider our 3 components of fitness business success, which would be marketing, sales, and delivery.
Marketing, sales, delivery.
Marketing, sales, and delivery.
Super important, right?
Yeah.
When we look at the actual breakdown, it's not as simple as people show up, right? Like the misconception is like, we talked about this in one of the other episodes, is like when I opened the very first location, I was like, all right, great. Like, so now how do I get people here?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it's trying to understand that whole like component side. So like, why don't you like touch on like that first piece?
Yeah. So the first one is marketing. In terms of what you're looking at with marketing, you have to have many avenues. And so we call them our marketing spokes. So just like you have a wheel, you think about your bike wheel, right? As an example, it has multiple spokes in the wheel. So you have to have multiple avenues of marketing. So anytime you put all your chips into the table of one style of marketing, if things go to crap on that, then it's like, I have no other way to get leads.
And we've had that happen before,
Exactly.
right? So it's like, so something from like a business perspective, right, is understanding that, like what Chris said, is it's not just running like paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram. For a long time, it worked so well that it made no sense to not put everything in one basket, right? Like that's when like, that was like the golden age, right? Of 2016.
$2, $3, $4 leads.
Yeah, super cheap. So like that was like the ideal target. But it doesn't always necessarily mean that that's the right clientele base either, right? So the purpose of the spokes of the different angles is you have Facebook, Instagram, you have Google AdWords, right? You have basic website traffic. You have, you know, like co-ed marketing with like PT clinics and other things like that, or, you know, just, or like something we've been talking about more recently is brand awareness.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Leveraging social media, you know, things like referral campaigns, signage even is super simple and dumb. But it's like, if you don't have visible signage, people are going to have a really hard time finding your gym.
We just had that happen at Steam.
Yeah. She had trouble finding the gym. She was in our parking lot and she left. And it's like, that's a sale that we can't make because she couldn't find the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
So when it comes to marketing, we say you need to be consistent and you need to be loud. Basically, whatever avenues of marketing you choose, you have to do it a lot and do it over a long time, because I forget what the rule is, but you need to have like a certain number of impressions before anyone ever comes in.
We always say that. It's like we always are. I mean, we'll get this into the sales piece.
Sure.
But so if you're doing like billboard advertising, flyers, things like that, they always operate at like a minimum of like a 15 to 20 touch points before you're getting something back in return.
For sure.
Right? That's why like car dealerships and all these places is like very, very aggressive advertising.
Yeah.
It's not as much of that in the gym business, but what you get is when you do impressions like that, and we'll get into that in the other spokes here, is making sure that people understand that it's like you get basically what we refer to as the stragglers, people that are on the fence of maybe they're going to come in, maybe they're not, by you just being in their face 10, 15 times.
That's why it's like when we do our Facebook ads, you know, someone might do an ad or coming through the website, but that might be the 8th time they've seen an ad. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been in consultations where they're like, oh, I've seen your ads over the last 6 months, and was finally like, you know, maybe this is the time to come in.
Well, here's a great example, right? We have our partnership with Tier, right? I own, I don't know how many pairs of shoes and clothes from this company, but I think I see a shoe advertisement every day from this company. But it's no different from a small business to, you know, a company worth a few $100 million. For sure. It doesn't matter.
And then the last thing from a marketing piece is we said, you know, we talked about it a lot on the other episodes already, but client experience is king.
You'll hear us say that a million times, client experience.
Yeah, well, especially in the gym space, because your members can become your marketing. So a great example is I was in our Denver location last night, and I hadn't been there in a while, and there was a woman there. So I haven't seen her in 3 months. And I was like, Stacy, like you look like a different person. And of course she was like, no, you know, blah, blah, blah. But when you get results in the gym space, those people, like, you can physically see a difference, whether it's your toner, you've lost weight, you've built muscle. And what do people do? Hey, what are you doing? Because you look great.
That's right.
And so it becomes a good marketing tool.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason why that's so powerful is what you just said. People constantly try different things from a visual scenario, right? Whether it's going to a gym or trying a new gym and we're trying this diet or this diet or this diet, or going to some sort of medical professional, right, that's going to say, try this, this, or this. You're right. People notice those things.
For sure.
You see someone once a month and then you just see like they lost like a small child off their body, right? Like, what did they do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's the marketing piece. The second thing is sales. The big thing on sales is consistent lead nurture leads to consistent closing. So, we were just talking about this earlier, where a lot of people think about sales and they think it's just when you get someone in for the trial class, or it's just when you get someone in for that sales consultation. It's like, oh yeah, I could talk to them fine and I'll get them to sign up. But it's like, there's a whole process before they ever walk in. And then even after they sign up, you have to nurture that person, because it's like, you have to continue to sell them. Every 6 to 12 months, you almost have to resell them in the sense of what they're getting. Because if I'm a paying member on a 6-month membership, at the 6-month mark, I could go, but I have to be convinced that no, this place is for me. I want to keep
reinforce
signing
the
up.
value.
Yeah.
Here's like an interesting stat, and this is something that we'll talk a lot more of about our program in general. But when you look at the gym industry as a whole, what's the life expectancy of someone in a gym?
Oh yeah, I mean it's well under 6 months. It's probably 2 or 3 months.
It's like 2-3 months. It's actually like an embarrassing number on how low it is. We did stats pretty recently on our locations, 1.2.
To 1.5 years.
Right? So that means 1 year, 2 months to 1.5 years is the average life expectancy of our clients at our Station Athletic locations. Right? And it's because people continue to see value because the client experience is top notch.
For sure.
Right? So just to touch on the sales piece that we just talked about, right? It's easy to get someone to walk through the door. It's the before and after piece that people don't understand. It's so time consuming and tedious.
Yeah.
It's the text messaging, the following up, the calls, making sure that they're going to come to the consultations, right? They come in, they got to think about it. The calls to follow up with them is like, hey, try us out, try us out, try us out. That's the time consuming part.
Yeah.
Getting someone to walk through the door is probably the easiest.
Yeah.
Like doing the actual consult.
Yeah. Like for us, like people don't realize we have a 4-call rule. So it's like, if I have a lead and I'm trying to get them to come in and they've expressed interest, but people don't realize people get busy, and these are people where the gym is not their top priority yet. Right? So I have to follow up with them to make sure they stay consistent to get in. We're going to call and text you 4 times without a response before we ever consider you that person a dead lead. And if you respond to me at all, like, hey, I'm so sorry, I've been so busy, let's connect on Tuesday, that process restarts. And most other, especially gym businesses, are giving up well before that point. They do a couple phone calls, a couple texts. I didn't hear from them, they're gone.
Or not even pick up the phone the first time.
Yeah, well, yeah, we talked about that in the other episode.
But like that's the process point here, is it's utilizing the traffic that you're paying for at some capacity. So whether I'm paying for an online, or I'm paying through a flyer, or I'm paying through signage, however you're paying for it, utilize the lead, because it's all math.
Yeah.
It's all percentage close rates is all it comes down to.
And the thing is, and why I think sales can be hard for people in the gym space specifically, is because I think a lot of people have this negative connotation on the word sales. Like they hear sales and think like used car salesman.
Of course.
And my thing is, like, I heard this on a podcast years ago, and it totally reframed my mindset. And they said that, if you think your service is the best out there, which you and I both do, we think what we do in our gyms are better than anyone else.
Of course.
Is that we then have a responsibility to sell the person on our services, because if we don't, they're either A, not going to do it anywhere, and so they're still going to remain unhealthy, or they're going to do it somewhere else and have a worse experience than they would in our doors.
That's right.
So if I let this person leave, I'm actually doing them a disservice. And when I reframe that, it's like, oh, well then selling it's easy, because I know our product's the best. I just have to show it to this person.
It's as simple as anything else. If you believe in the product or service, so much easier because you believe in the product and service.
Well, and then I tell people all the time, where if you are then having a hard time selling it, it might not be an issue like you don't know the sales strategy. You might not believe in your product very well.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe in your product, that's a whole nother separate set of issues.
Exactly, and that's how we can break it down and understand where the issue actually lies. Is it in the marketing,
Yeah.
right? Is it in the advertising? Is it in the nurture process?
Yep.
Is it in the actual sales process, or is it a human error thing?
Yeah.
And you can break it down, and that's why it's so important to understand all the steps that go into getting a client to actually show up for a class.
For sure. And then the last part is delivery, which is delivering high-level client experience. Last podcast, we kind of covered a lot of that, but it seems silly, but that is a part of your components of success. Okay, cool. We marketed, we spent the money to find this lead. Cool. The person walked into our doors. We showed them all that we could do. They're like, that sounds great, and they bought it. Now we got to do those things. Like, you don't just to say, hey, we're going to do all these things and help you out. And then when they sign up, you just mail it in.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the whole next step is, okay, you got them here. Now, how do you keep them here?
Right. And the way we kind of chunk that down, like we said, the 3 components of fitness success was fitness, nutrition, and accountability. 3 components of business success, marketing, sales, and delivery. It keeps things small, chunked down, bite-sized, so that it's really easy to be like you said, okay, if there's an issue, where's the issue? Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Is our marketing sound? And then kind of breaking down everything underneath those allows you to find the holes in the process, because in business, you're always going to have something.
It's always delivery. It's how you're delivering. It's not just the sales delivery and the pitch delivery. It's the delivery of the actual product line of what you're getting, and we're going to get into that next.
Yeah. And so that kind of gives you an idea, guys. If you're a gym owner, those are our 3 components of success. And so if you're interested on how we go about maximizing each one of those things, stay tuned, listen to the upcoming podcasts. If you like what you've heard so far, like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Instagram, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.